Hi everyone. Today I'm going to work on a canvas. You can work in an art journal. I've got this canvas that I've made a long time ago. It's ugly. Don't know what I was thinking, and I'm going to cover it. Now most of this today is just I want to experiment with something new I've bought from the craft store. I've bought this vintage effect wash from DecoArt, so I want to see how they work, and I haven't really planned much. I want to start by covering, of course, all of this, and I'm going to use just book pages, and these are the best, the pocket books from a long time. Love the color, and the paper is just great for collaging. It turns up once you cover it with glue, because I adhere it to whatever substrate I have, and then I go over it also with glue. It turns up like leather almost. So I really like how it looks and how it feels. So just going to take some pages, and let's start covering. Now there is no rhyme or reason, just covering. This is first layer, and I'm going to be generous here with the white glue, and I'm also going to cover the edges of my canvas. So I'm putting it like this, so I will have enough to cover the sides and on top. Now while it's wet, you won't see how it looks, that it looks like leather. It takes time until all the glue soaks in, so only when it's dry. And I made some kind of fold here. It really doesn't matter too much. I'm just going, as I said, covering my canvas, and I will deal with it later. Right now I just want to cover the front mostly. And the only thing else that I'm doing is I'm alternating the directionality of the pages, because I think it's more interesting, but it doesn't have to be like this. It can be all in one direction. And I'm also overlapping. I think I'll glue the sides later. First I will cover the front, and I want to be quick about it just so you will see what I'm talking about. And it will wrinkle a little, but it doesn't matter. It just adds texture in the back. So as you can see, I'm doing it quite quickly. It's just the first layer, and let's take another one. The edges and the extra, I will deal with it later. Right now it's just the front. I'll do one more and then I will go off camera and do the rest because it's boring. So this is it. That's the main idea of covering the canvas with book pages. Nothing to it. Just going around and putting it down. So I'll be back. And I'm back. So everything is covered, still a lot of wet glue, don't care, I want to still work on it and add some interest. I figured it would be nice to put some paper napkins. I love paper napkins on this kind of background because they are a little bit translucent. So I've got this paper napkin and this too, and again I'm just playing. It's not planned. I just want to put some elements, different elements here, and then try to use the vintage wash. So we'll see what happens. And I think I will just randomly cut pieces from the paper napkin. Of course I need to remove the backing, so I just took out this piece, and here is one ply. I think there is another one, but right now it doesn't want to come out. Of course, I don't know. Let's see if I can separate from the whole napkin, and maybe then again one ply, and yeah, here is another one. So I'm just again taking part of the napkin, just using scissors and glue. Now when you're dealing with paper napkins, you need your glue to be a little bit flowish. So it won't drag, and use a flat brush, soft flat brush, and make sure everything is covered with glue so you won't have air bubbles. Let's put this one here. Part of it is going to get covered. I'm not really concerned, it's just adding details. It's not a focal image or anything. It's like just like a stenciling on or stamping on your background. Adding details. So let's see. Taking another part of the paper napkin, I know I have wet glue, but I still want to make sure that it's everywhere. Always use the flat of the brush and glide, don't drag. As you can see, I'm taking a lot of glue on my brush. It just helps to adhere it without tearing the paper napkin. Let's see. I think I will use another piece of this paper napkin. Yeah. I don't even know what is going to get covered where and why. I'm just playing with the pieces and we'll see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? I will cover this canvas again. I have canvases that I went over them like 10 times until I was satisfied with what I have. Okay, moving on, I think, to this paper napkin, and once again I'm going to remove this. I always keep it and use it for a lot of stuff. If you are interested, just do in my channel a search for paper napkins and you will be flooded with things that I do with paper napkins and the backing. Okay, so I've got this, and I really don't need all of this right now, so I'm going to take a really fine brush and how do I do it without making a mess? And so you can still see what I'm doing. So I've got little water on the brush and I'm just going like this and taking, now separating. Now why did I use the brush and not the scissors like I've done here? It's because I wanted to blend more into the background. When you want your paper napkin to blend, it's better to have this kind of edges and not like here that I've used the scissors. So once again, glue. Okay. Lots and lots of glue, and it's going to take quite a while to dry. Maybe I'll make this in two sections, this video, because I think it's going to take really a long time to dry. Okay, so I've got this here. I think I'm going to do the same thing in the opposite corner, just to keep up with the movement that I'm starting to create on the page. I've already placed this like in this diagonal lines, and I put this here, so I think I will just echo it at the other corner. So once again, I'm just taking the piece I want from the paper napkin. I really hope you can see what I'm doing. Not all the canvas fits into the frame. Making sure I have enough glue. And here we go. I haven't even thought what my focal image will be. Okay, so now this needs to be completely dry before I continue. I am planning on doing something with stencil and some paste, and we'll see where it's going. I'll be back. I'm back. So mostly dry enough for me to continue working on it, and I decided instead of doing something with a paste, I just want to stencil with gesso, and I've picked this, and again I'm going to play with it. Don't know what will happen, and I'm thinking of putting this here. I'm taking a makeup sponge and dabbing so I won't have excess gesso, and I'm just going to start stenciling, and I'm again overlapping what I already have, and I think it looks more organic this way, but but I don't have a plan for, as I said, really don't have a plan for this canvas. Just putting down all kinds of elements. The only thing that decided against using modeling paste or joint compound is that I didn't want to deal with more texture and more waiting time, and I love stenciling with gesso, and it also dries fast, so that's the only thing that decided for the gesso stenciling. Okay, so we've got one here, and I'm gonna do one here of the edges, and now it's stuck inside the gesso as always. Messy stuff. Okay, so I'm moving it aside a little bit and continuing. I'm not stenciling on the edges. I already know that I will probably darken the edges, so it really doesn't matter to continue the pattern over the edges. I'm just doing it here, and I'm doing it quite lightly. If you can see, again, it's really just adding some more interest to the background and more elements. Trying to hold the stencil here, it's a little bit difficult, and I'm also trying to be fast. I want to get to the experiments part. Okay, so I still want more stuff here, and I'm thinking about this pattern, but well, I think I'm gonna mask it and create another look like a tile. Let's see if I can do it. More masking tape. Let's see. Maybe I can mask it so I will create a square. Or a diamond, whatever. Just masking so I will have only part this. Okay, let's try this. Taking again some gesso. Let's see what happens, how it looks with just doing a part. Okay, I like it. I can continue once again without getting inside all this. So I'm going to continue stenciling this little bit all over, and I'll be back. Finished stenciling. I'm going to let this dry completely before I'm going to experiment with the washes. Don't want to ruin the experiment, so I'll be back and we'll continue. I'm back and it's time to do the washes, the Vintage Effect Wash by DecoArt, and it says to shake it well and then use either a brush, a rag, or what else. It says no matter, we'll see what happens. So this one is turquoise, of course, my go-to color, and I've got some makeup sponge here, I've got the rag, and I also got a baby wipe just so I can see what's going on and trying it here. So I think I'll start with the rag, and I'll just take a little bit here from the cap and go like this. It's a little bit too thick, so I'm picking the baby wipe in hopes that it will spread. Okay, it's nice. It does give a tint without, it does do a wash without covering all. Let's see how it blends between colors. So now I'm picking this is just blue. Maybe if let's see what happens if I'll spray it with a little bit of water, if I can make it spread a little bit more, thin it a little bit. So picking up the blue, and I'm going to use the baby wipe. I'm trying to blend between the two colors. Okay, it looks promising, though it's quite thick, so it's good that the baby wipe is not dry. Maybe a little bit more, and just so I need to work between too much water and not enough water, but it seems nice. I think I will continue with this blue color, and then I want to try and overlap on top of this blue the brown and the black. The black I want to keep to the edges, and I want to add a little bit of the brown tint I have here, and this is the black. So we'll see what will happen. But right now I'm quite liking what I am getting here. Let's do. Okay. It seems like I have spots that with, well, it seems like I've still got spots with wet glue, and then I have a problem of spreading this wash. I'm liking it, but I'm thinking that maybe just a plain acrylic paint with water can probably give me the same effect. So, but never mind, it was on sale. So let's see, brown, or maybe no, I'm not going to blast it with my heat tool. I'm just going to continue, and whatever happens happens. That's it. I decided. Okay. So I'm keeping the brown to the edges. And again, trying to blend it so there won't be harsh lines between all these washes. Okay, I'm really starting to like what's going on here, this vintagey look, and I think I'm gonna dab a little bit of the brown in several places, just a hint. Yeah. Don't know how much of it you can see, but yeah. Switching to the black, gonna do the edges. And I still don't have a focal point. Never mind. Working now. Now this I'm trying to be gentle. I'm doing the edges of my canvas and going just a little bit in, and again going back and forth so it will blend with the rest. And I'm going in a little bit more at the corners, like I do when I'm art journaling. I like my corners darker. Okay, I think the baby white is the best for this technique. Don't know if I can call it a technique, but that's the best to blend the washes and not have something too harsh. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing the edges and I'll be back. I'm I'm back. I finished with the edges. I am really liking what's going on, and now I need to work on something to be on top, and I've got this scrapbook paper. I've already taken this piece. It says love starts with a smile, grows with a kiss, and ends with a tear. And the only thing I've done is just tear it and went over the edges with the black wash, just so it would be more defined. And I'm thinking of using the other pieces of the same scrapbook paper. I'll just continue tearing this. I'm winging it. I'm thinking that it will go something like this, and maybe another piece. I don't know, we'll see. So what I'm going to do is take this, and it's either this kind of thing, or you can take some scissors and go over the edges if you like rough edges, like this. And you can even make tears if you like them. Depends of the look that you are looking for. Now I know it will cover part of what I've done on my background. Well, that's what the background is for. I want an interesting, detailed background, but I've learned not to be upset when part of it gets covered. So I've got my rough edges, and now with the makeup sponge and the black wash, I'm just going over the edges. I'm also going a little bit in I'm not trying to be careful. I want it to look tattered, old, I don't know, vintage. Okay, let's see. One here, and yeah, I think I will need another one. Here I only want a little piece, and we'll see where it's going. I'll be back. I'm back, and I'm starting to get somewhere. I've got the 3 pieces. I adhered the pieces with white glue and went on top of it also. Don't know why, just that's how I go about a paper. And I've decided to use this stencil as my focal point. Now I was going to stencil it with black, and then I decided that trying to be brave and going with something like these 2 colors. I've got light mint and ice blue by Art Deco, and if I don't like it, I will just go over it with black. So I'm going to put a little bit of each one here, and there is some noise in the back. One of my neighbors decided, I don't know, to drill in the walls, so let's hope it will stay as is and not be more noisy. So I'm starting with this. We'll see how it goes, and as always, when I'm stenciling, I'm using 2-3 colors and changing in between. Now I'm even thinking that maybe I need a little bit of white just to highlight several areas in the stencil, but I will just continue with these two for right now, these two colors, and we'll see, because as I said, if it doesn't go well, I'm just going to cover it with black. Okay, I hope I haven't missed anything. And the big reveal, okay, you can't see it, it just disappears. So I need black. I'm going to do a black on top of it, and then I'll come back. I really like how it's here. Maybe I will add a little bit of stenciling that will go on part of these 3 pieces, but basically this is going to be black. I'll be back. Okay, so I've stenciled here the black, but I've moved the stencil like a millimeter down, so now I have like a fine line of the light blue underneath, and it gives a little bit more definition to my focal point. And I've kept on and stenciled the same flowers all over, just to make everything cohesive. And it of course it's the same flowers that I have here, but here without the black, so they are going with the background with my focal image. And also I've placed them so they will soften the edges of these 3 pieces. And basically this is it. I think no, I want some butterflies, and I've already taken some. I have here some butterflies from this kit, and I was told they can be found in a Dollar Tree stores, so you can probably find them. And let's see, yeah, something like that. So that's the only thing I'm doing for this piece. I'm just gluing the butterflies, and this is it. That's my piece. I just want you to see how all the layers work. You can still see the text from the book pages. You can still see the white gesso with the stenciling. You can still see here the pieces from the paper napkin, and you've got all the colors from the washes that I've used. I'm really happy with the outcome of this canvas. I hope you will try something like that and have the courage to try and build up the layers. So thank you for watching, and thank you for leaving me comments below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.